Live, we're always live. We're live right now.
What is going on, everyone? We are back with
Hello, we're live now. Hello.
Marvel Media Podcast.
I am Pounds.
And I am Slash.
And we're Penis.
We are PNS.
PNS.
Now, we had to record that intro twice. One, because I squeaked horribly the first time. I was like, hi, we're back. And then the second one, as soon as I hit record, he's like, yeah, and then Persephone. I'm like, no one gives a damn about the cat.
What? They give a damn about the cat. Hey, they talk about the cat in your live stream. I say, hold up, what?
That's true.
That'd be so mean. We don't give a damn about the cat. That's so mean. It's only Gilgamesh we care about.
No, so we just got finished watching, and if my voice does crack, which it may a couple times, I was at a concert last night.
Yeah, he went. He left me hanging here with all these crazy people at my job. He went to a
It was
concert.
a fantastic concert, though. I will say that. But no, so we just finished watching Venom. Not Venom.
Morbius. There we go.
One of those Sony
One
movies.
of those Sony things that just keep going on and on and on, don't stop.
So we've definitely got an interesting conversation to have. Yeah, go ahead and turn it up.
Yep, I just hear it.
We've definitely got an interesting conversation to have about the Morbius movie.
Yeah.
I guess without further ado, we'll jump into it. We've got 3 recordings we got to do today.
Yes, we do.
All right, so Morbius.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm going to come out and say it. It's not as bad as what people are saying.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not.
It's fine. It's not bad. It's not good. It's fine. It's there. It's there.
It's not Venom.
Thank you, God. It's not fucking Venom.
And let me tell you why I say that. So, obviously, going into Venom movies, I have a certain expectation that needs to be upheld. Okay, because I am familiar with the Venom character. I am familiar with at least one of the enemies that he's fought, being Carnage. I'm not as familiar with Riot, who I think was the first one.
Yeah, Riot was the first one. He fought against him. It was Carnage. Yep.
But
Or movie. Right.
So you go in with these expectations of how things are supposed to be. Here's the problem, though, with Venom as a story. Venom really heavily needs Spider-Man
Oh, yeah.
to be Venom.
Right. Catch the Spider-Man first.
Right.
So it needs that.
Whereas, I actually think Morbius works because he doesn't. He gets his powers away from anything Spider-Man's doing.
Right.
And then when he goes on his tear through New York, Spider-Man interferes,
right,
and that's how he becomes a Spider-Man villain.
Right.
So there's a way to write that to turn Morbius into more of a hero, if you want, without sacrificing the origin of that character.
Right.
You cannot do that with Venom.
No.
Now, dumbass post-credit scenes aside...
and we talked about this too because when I was reading it, they said the director was not even aware that they even tried to put these post credits. So he had to scramble, and it's like, oh, it's coming off because of Doctor Strange. That's why. I'm like, oh no, you can't do that because you're gonna leave the audience really confused. And it's like, what's going on? How? Okay,
right, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to talk about with this movie is the acting, and I am going to tell you now. I actually think the acting in this is better than most of the other Sony movies.
Right.
What's
up?
Hi, buddy. Within this new Sony verse that they're trying to build.
Which I wish they would stop it. That's the point.
Yeah, all of us do. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, I think, are jumping on the Jared Leto hate train because of the Joker casting, which, again, I don't even think is necessarily his fault. When the studio's like, yeah, that's what we want.
Right, really, Warner Brothers just stuck their nose in something that they always do.
Right.
And they said, well, this is how you're going to go this way, and cut a lot of stuff out.
And I thought Leto did a fantastic job as Michael Morbius. He didn't overact in any situation.
Right.
He did what he needed to. Dude, you were fat. You're like...
I like how if anybody that's listening to us on the podcast, he just called me fat.
I called my cat fat.
He said, dude, you are fat. Damn.
He's like 3 times the weight of his sister.
Right? Ain't that a bitch? Anyway, I would have to pick Milo, to be honest. The guy who played Milo. No, I love Morbius.
The guy who played Milo did a fantastic job. Solid job.
I got to give it to that. Like, don't get me wrong, Morbius is cool, but I just feel like for me, he was just there. I was like, okay, it's Morbius. That's cool.
If I had any complaint with any of the acting... or characterization, really, because none of the acting was bad.
No, yeah, none of it was bad. Just
I was not a fan of Morbius's girlfriend, or she wasn't
Love
technically
interest?
his girlfriend, love interest.
right.
Because she kind of, the character, the way it was written, just kind of struck me as not necessary. She wasn't really a focal point of the movie until
Toward the end.
when she, quote, by the way, spoilers,
Oh yeah.
as always, if you didn't see the thumbnail.
Right.
Until she, quote unquote, died, which is supposed to give Morbius that fucking I'm about to fuck this dude up attitude, which
Right.
would work in a normal situation. But at the same time, like, I don't. One of the things I hate about that stereotype is instead of doing what you need to save the person you care about, knowing damn well she's interacted with Milo already, like, you wait until she's quote unquote dead,
Right. You should have been there.
then get pissed off.
Yeah, you should have been there like. You should have been there day one, kind of like protecting her, because especially if she even told you, "Hey, I bumped into Milo." I said, "You didn't die the first time." Oh man, you should have been stuck to her like glue, like a hip.
But yeah, so over and above all, acting was fine.
Yeah.
The characters for the most part were fine. Moving on to the story. The story is
a
one
little
of it's kind of middle ground. It's a little slow.
It's mid, yeah.
It's not bad.
Nope.
It's not good.
That's it. It's just there.
It's an origin story. Let's be real. Most origin stories, especially in superhero movies, aren't necessarily the most entertaining thing about them. Now, I know some people would disagree because there are a lot of people out there.
I just wish they wouldn't just start off with that and then go jump. I wish they just started with just the kids first, not the whole we're gonna go do the blood thing way at the beginning of the movie and then jump 25 years. I wish they just started.
Yeah, they start the movie in like
And that's why I
present
got
day,
around. I was like, what the fuck?
and then all of a sudden it's like 25 years earlier.
And then even he said, is this later or earlier? I was like, what the? Why didn't we just do? What the fuck? Just start with that.
Right.
I mean, I know it didn't, and then I guess it wouldn't matter. I'll just say, but that would have helped. They just started off when they were children. Then we could do the whole blood thing, bullshit like that. We could do that. Let's start with them. Yeah, I mean, it would make more sense. I mean, so that's just me, though.
I've never been a big fan of that, even though we're about to have that probably happen to us next week in Moon Knight. But
Hey,
that's
go jump again.
But no, so
That's because he's just crazy. Anyway,
it's a decent story. It suffers from being an origin story,
right, and that's
Which
probably
is-
one of the big gripe of it too.
which is going to push it to be a little bit slower. But a lot of people, again, Sony is big on origin stories. They always have been.
They never
I
changed.
mean,
Not even just Marvel, but anything.
They brought Amazing Spider-Man 2 in and redid the origin story.
Right.
And then now, like Marvel, they're all about like we're talking MCU Marvel. Marvel's like, yeah, we're just gonna bring Spider-Man in and he's already gonna be a hero. You guys know the origin story.
Right. Put his ass.
But
in
then at the
Civil
same
War.
time,
You're like, yeah, this is you.
this was like the 3-movie set that Tom's did is the origin story. It's MCU's own version of the origin story.
Right. And you can say that that's the completion of Spider-Man right there. So.
But yeah, so to make the story confusing though, so now we're gonna go ahead and jump into the post-credit scene because this is part of the story.
Yeah.
So we had seen previews throughout the entirety of the promo run for Venom or Morbius. I'm gonna keep doing that, by the way.
Right, because he even says a joke. I am Venom. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was funny. I actually enjoyed that.
Oh no, there was some jokes
Hey,
that
leave
was.
shit alone.
Yeah, your cat's gonna like bother the mouse, man. He looks at it like it's like a
Leave shit alone.
toy.
But no. So throughout the entire promo run of Morbius, we get
Oh, that's bad.
Adrian Toomes.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know, Michael Keaton is the Vulture in
Right.
the first. Which, if you're watching this and you don't know that, there's something wrong with you.
I mean, or maybe just go watch it. Just watch Homecoming. Just watch all three.
Right. So Vulture is. You want to fight me?
Yep.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Yep. Your cat's trying to fight.
Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
He'll just smother you because he's a big dude. He's just like, I'm just gonna lay on you. Just
Right.
roll on you, on your head.
But yeah, so Adrian Toomes is shown throughout all the commercial breaks, all the
bad
TV spots.
Too. It's like a bait and switch.
And it's kind of, we know he's not going to have a huge part in the movie.
Right.
But you kind of expect him to show up throughout the movie at some point.
Right.
He does not.
Right. And that's
as a matter of fact, Ralph even was asking me as the credits were rolling. He was like, "Yo, I thought Vulture was in this movie."
Because that was one of the trailers that we.
And at this point,
switched.
I had already known that he wasn't in the movie because I had seen. Hey!
Uh-oh. There we go.
You leave shit alone.
There we go.
But I had already seen one of an article that had talked about it, knowing that he was in the post-credit scenes. And I didn't know what the post-credit scenes were. But they had said that
I didn't even know they even had a post-credit scene.
It's a Marvel movie, of course they did.
I should have done better. It's more. That's fucked. I mean, that's so true, but it's a Marvel movie, bro. Where have you been?
Right.
That's great.
So you finally get to the post-credit scenes, and we see Adrian Toomes come through. Somehow he got pulled into the Sony-verse.
Right, which that was kind of
through everything that happened in No Way Home, which doesn't really make sense. Because everyone else went back home.
So you're... And that's...
But he appears in a jail cell?
In a jail cell. With jail... Well, because remember, he's supposed to be still in prison from Homecoming. And how the hell they know that's Adrian Toomes? They said Adrian Toomes like they knew him.
Well, because they were... The newscast that was going on was said a man by the name of Adrian Toomes...
okay. I thought they just said Adrian Toomes.
Is being released because he just showed up out of nowhere. Like, if you're releasing him, you're going to know who he is. You're not just going to be like, oh, I don't know you. You're going to get out. It's like, you at least got to figure out who the fuck the guy is.
Right. I wouldn't even have let him leave his jail.
Well, what that tells us is, if there is an Adrian Toomes in this universe,
right,
he's not a bad... He hasn't become the Vulture.
He hasn't become the Vulture.
Now, a secondary post-credit scene happens. Right. Because the first one is just him getting out of jail.
Right.
The second one happens, and it is Michael speeding through this like desert road, and he stops, and all of a sudden Vulture shows up.
So I don't know what the hell that was, because now look, I said, oh, it's Vulture.
Yeah, it's full Vulture gear. He's in the costume.
It looks a little different from Homecoming, though.
Right.
Just a little bit, slightly different.
And he basically says to Morbius, he's like, yo, Spider-Man's a problem here. Let's go be heroes. So the plan is for them to go attack Spider-Man together.
Which, that's my gripe right there. We should just... Never mind.
Well, that's the next problem. Who's Spider-Man?
Right, who's Spider-Man? Is it Venom? Are they getting Venom and Spider-Man mixed up?
Could be. That could be one way they could go
about it. Because Eddie Brock is like, he's supposed to be lethal protector, as they kept repeating over and over and over again.
Here's the thing, and again, this is where they can fix a lot of this.
Right.
And this is just an idea.
This will help everything, really, for real.
Andrew Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man, needs to be the Spider-Man of this universe, and here's a reason. So, first off, I don't want to see Tom Holland pulled over in this universe. I don't want to see this idea that people have of him jumping back and forth between universes.
That'd be fucked up.
I think that is a dumb route to go.
Yeah, they're fucked up. Yeah.
If you guys remember, there's a wall that is walked by in Morbius by somebody that has
We didn't see that in the movie, did we? They said murder?
Yeah.
We did?
So there's a picture of Spider-Man up on a wall, and somebody has spray painted murder over his picture. Now, here's why I think they need to use the Amazing Spider-Man. If you remember in No Way Home, he actually says he stopped pulling his punches when he was talking to the other Peters.
Yeah, the other Peters.
And
he says since Gwen's death, he's been unhinged. He's been that Spider-Man. So,
and I think it would be a good time to bring him in as the Spider-Man, because if he's not pulling his punches, say he stops a regular person, he's killing people. He's got to be killing people.
And that would make him a badass villain. I would like that, actually.
And that would equal to him, that would make sense for people calling him a murderer. Now, I'm sure when they did that, they were playing off of the idea that Spider-Man might have killed Mysterio.
Right.
which is probably what that is actually in reference to. But there's a way to retcon this in a way that makes sense and keeps the universes split as they should be.
Right. And that way Sony can still keep making money. That way you don't have to go back to MCU like the stepchild that you are.
And I think that's the only way to make this make sense.
We just need I need a Spider-Man in here somewhere because I keep referencing this dude.
The biggest problem I have now, besides Spider-Man not actually being involved, is I still want to know how the fuck it worked for Adrian to hop universes.
Yep. See, that's the bad one.
Was he in the wrong universe to begin with?
And that too. Hopefully in Doctor Strange, I'm not saying not to clear up Adrian too. I'm saying hopefully maybe a magic spell causes it to where I guess it opens back up again.
I have no clue.
And that was, I guess, that's one of my predictions. Maybe he did a spell that I guess opens the whatever the fuck they did, that little whatever time they did, and that's how Adrian jumped down back into the cell.
So the last real thing we have to talk about as far as this movie goes.
Oh dear.
This is almost like a version of the good, the bad. The other, like the good was the acting, the bad, which is more mid. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was trash, but the story was mid.
But we're gonna jump to the ugly part of it, which would actually be more bad than ugly. The CGI. Again, Sony is failing
all this
so
money.
hard.
Damn. Just
at CGI scenes.
I don't know why.
I will give Morbius props.
Right.
At least during the fight scenes,
it wasn't muggy.
You could see the fight.
Right, you can see the fist and the
like
scrapes
when you're watching the Venom movies, it's just a bunch of colorful blobs running all over the fucking place. Like here, they actually did an artistic thing that I really liked, where mid-fight it would slow down,
right?
And you would see them do things.
And that's what I think they did that with Venom if they wanted to, but that's fine.
I did like the idea of the colored trails as they were floating through.
That was interesting. I like that.
But no, it's just in general the CGI is just not that good with Sony, and has not been. Dude, I still go back and watch the old Spider-Man movies. Do you realize?
Oh man,
understand this
weird little
even with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2, which for its time were great, and they're still entertaining stories to watch.
Still to this day.
But the CGI,
bro,
or like
it's like someone's made it through Windows Movie Maker. Oh my god,
some of the special effects are so bad.
He's like, doing this.
I still hate the way going back and watching them because I have watched them recently because my kids are rushing through the Spider-Man movies so that they can watch No Way Home. Right. I still remember, again, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, a scene where when he goes to web sling off, he gets all stiff and tight, kind of goes into this like still mode, right? And it just kind of, it's so weird. But again,
you can even see it where Spider was like doing a weird little running, and it's like
for its time.
Yeah, for its time, it was cold.
I was like, dude, this looks really good.
That's when CGI was first coming out, like first happening.
Watching it now, like Amazing Spider-Man looked a little better with some of the CGI, but still wasn't great.
And finally, it kind of mastered it perfectly, and really in the MCU,
the MCU mastered it perfectly. And then Sony is still like, no, we're going to use the stuff we used for the Amazing Spider-Man.
It's like they can't get out of it. It's like they're like in the Twilight Zone. Like, come on,
y'all just need to switch studios. Whoever's doing y'all's fucking CGI
is it Sony? They go to let me
needs
stop.
Replaced.
Because I'm like, y'all, bro, the budgets that they put on this shit is like 100 to 200 million. I'm like, y'all mean to tell me? And CGI is like it might cost even less now. It's gonna cost more less than ever. You can't give up like $10 million just to make it look somewhat realistic. Because you could have I saw Dracula Untold, and that had more better CGI than what the hell that was. Like, you could have made that look a lot more real, actually.
That's Universal money.
Let's see.
No, so
hey, they got infinite money.
Going back to the story, though, because I do want to at least talk about it a little bit in detail, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what is actually going on in this movie. So, Michael Morbius has some sort of disease. Kat seems to suggest it was polio, which is probably correct. Right. But it's something he's born with. He becomes best friend with this guy named Milo.
Right, they were like in some...
They were basically in like a children's hospital.
Sure, right. That was like an orphanage, but it's children's hospital. Right.
Their doctor kind of becomes their father figure.
Right.
So he's pretty much adopted them for life because he knows polio is going to be one of those things it's going to kill you sooner than old age will.
And they talked about, they referenced it so hard in this, not the police, but they said, hey, our time is coming soon. We're gonna be dying soon, and it's like they really hit that like home with that type of talking right there.
Right. So as an adult, Michael has gone on to become this big time doctor, where he's striving to find a cure for their disease so that they can live.
Right.
He even, like, as a kid, saved his friend's life by fixing a machine.
Right, with a pen. A ballpoint pen and a little spring from the pen. That's it.
Right. But, so he eventually starts to do more non-sanctioned studies.
Right.
In using bats' DNA to try and regenerate human tissue or whatever is wrong with them. So they tested on a rat. A rat dies, but then it comes back to life. And he immediately sees this as, hey, this is something that is a viable option. So he decides to be the first human test subject for this.
Right.
He uses it on himself. He becomes Morbius, kills a bunch of people.
Right.
Right. Milo, as soon as he gets out of that situation,
Milo comes looking for him.
Milo comes and finds him in his lab, and he's locked himself in a room so that he can't go out and hurt people.
Right.
Even though we know damn well he can break through that glass. Come on now.
Right. He broke through before.
Right.
At the place.
So Milo comes in to just check on him.
Right. See, because he hadn't probably talked to him in a minute. He's like, "Where is he?"
And he tells Milo to go get one of the artificial blood bags, and he goes and gets it.
And he didn't know what it was for. And then he see him drink it.
He's seen him drink it, and he became fine. He's like, "Yo, you found a cure. You're walking around just fine. Let me get it." And he's like, "No, it's a curse. Like that. I did not. This is not what I want to be." And then Milo, he forces Milo to leave.
He pushed him back. He said, "Get out."
Yeah, he forces Milo to leave.
And Milo was first, I ain't gonna lie, first he sat there like, and that's one reason why I like Milo over Morbius, because Milo was like, so you just gonna let me die? And he even sat there so stunned.
That's because you're thinking of it completely wrong.
And I get it, I know what you're saying.
He doesn't want to let Milo die. But it wouldn't be right to turn him into a monster just to save his life.
And that's why Milo said, I would take this in order to live.
But here's the thing. So, what Michael would have wanted to do is find a way to fine-tune this so that in the future, when it does help people, it doesn't turn them into monsters.
Unfortunately, that kind of backfired, as you can see as we move later on into the story.
Right. Now, what ends up happening, though...
Milo took the world in his own hand. He said, fuck it.
In the hospital, one of the nurses ends up getting drained of blood.
Right.
And Morbius thinks it's him. Now, I knew it was Milo at this point. At some point, Milo went back and got some of the things. And I was like, okay...
I wish we had seen that. That's my big gripe. I wish we had seen that, him actually... progressing into like showing how he got that. Like I would love to see that actually. They
tried to make it too much of a twist. It wasn't a big twist to me.
It's not a twist.
Like I said, I had seen it coming.
Right. Which that's one of the tropes he didn't like, that Arrow was fighting the exact opposite of each other. But
yeah, it's a normal. I wouldn't say it was a complaint to me. I was saying it's a normal Marvel complaint. Marvel has this habit of like somebody fighting pretty much a version of themselves, and that's been across both MCU and Sony for a while now. No, so we find out Milo ended up sneaking the serum.
Right.
He's become this.
Yeah, because he took his cane. Hey, I was like, I started savage. He left that cane to prison.
Yeah. So eventually, Michael turns himself in.
Yes. Yeah, he does turn himself
after
in.
Fighting Tyrese Gibson.
Which is not hard, barely convinced.
Which, by the way, was weird. I did not even know Tyrese was in this movie.
Yeah, I was like, yo, for family. I had to. I said for family giggle match, for family.
But of course, he's the bad version of the vampire. Morbius is trying to figure out a way to sustain this without actually killing people. Milo's like, nah, fuck that.
Right. Hey, yo, that should be just... That's it. And nah, fuck that. Let's go.
Now, here's the thing. I don't think necessarily either of them were wrong. Or either of them were right.
Right.
So, like, again, if they were to become vampires like they were,
right,
and they go on to feed off of the scum of the earth, go find mobsters and shit like that, and just feed off them.
If he had said that, it probably would have been
like,
a little bit more.
I'll take that, because again, I don't necessarily agree with Milo being like, oh, I'm just gonna bite people that make me mad.
Right, because that's really what he was.
Bruh, you never gonna be happy. You can't just bite the head off of everyone that looks at you and says, yo, you suck.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show you some sucking.
You're right.
I'm right. That's exactly what he did to the dude who was running the newspaper. He just bit his shit. Oh my god, just bit his ass. No remorse that he killed that dude.
But no, so
he almost killed everybody in that fucking bar seat too.
But like, and then here's the thing. So Milo, by the end of it all,
I mean, at the end we knew he was gonna.
He kills him and Michael's father figure.
Right.
And then
just the love interest.
Quote unquote kills. I say quote unquote because she woke up at the end.
Right.
The love interest on the roof, and then she says something along the lines of like, "Don't let this be a waste" or some shit like that.
Right.
So then Michael bites her.
Right.
And then that's when we get the final fight, which I'm going to admit now, at first started off really cool.
Yeah, it did.
But
like him doing that suicide drop, I said, okay.
But had one of the like most unclimactic endings.
Yeah, he just stabs him and that's it.
So like Michael goes that like they end up in the sewer. Right. And Michael does this loud screech.
Right, which I knew that was bringing the bats in.
And all these bats come in and they start circling him. At which point Milo grabs a pipe,
like a pipe,
to try and drive into Morbius.
Right.
And Morbius is like watching everything happen in slow motion,
right.
And he's like looking around.
Boy became the Avatar.
And he basically uses the bats to fling him away.
He bat Ben, bro. He bat Ben.
Think Dracula Untold if you've never seen it.
Well, that's
so he has full control of these bats now, and he uses the bats to basically push Milo away, and then he grabs a knife or something of some sort.
I thought it was the antibody serum.
It
might he still had the antibody serum where he was able to stab him with it.
He ends up stabbing him right in the heart, which kills him.
Which is the Dracula.
And then Milo's all like,
"I'm
sorry, it's me."
Like, what type of?
And it's like, nah, you've always you're.
What type of Woody Harrelson shit is that?
Right?
That's what brought me back to Venom 2 right there.
He should have been like, "Fuck this."
That's what he should. That would have made it more better. You can say one fuck. It's PG-13. As long as you can get what 2 fucks in?
One.
You can get one fuck. All you can say is fuck this. Boom.
And that's
and then he just goes off, and then literally a minute later.
That's when we get the post-credits. So
right. So.
But yeah, then you actually see old girl wake up on top of the roof, and she looks like she has something floating in her eyes. Right. So now all of a sudden, maybe since she didn't get fully drained, she's now going to become a vampire and be the next thing that fights more. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just it was kind of muffled. It's like they were trying to rush it.
They're playing the vampire role loosely. They're like, whatever works to fit with our story, just run with it. Now here's
they didn't want to kill the love interest, man.
Here's another thing I have a problem with this movie, and it's with superhero movies in general.
Right.
If making a movie rated R is going to make the movie that much closer for your characters to be who they are, then you need to make the movie rated R. I understand you're trying to draw in all of the 13-year-olds, 13 to 18 demographic.
Right.
I get it. Money. We want more money.
Right.
I understand. But if you want to make a good movie, somebody like Morbius, or even the villains for that point that were in Morbius, need to be put in a rated R setting. And that is the problem Sony is having.
Right, there was some scenes I was like, was he supposed to be bleeding? He's dying? Like, oh, okay, he's not dying.
They aren't going with the lighthearted but ominous storytelling that Marvel tends to do.
Right.
They're trying to go with darker tones.
Right.
But they're trying to keep the darker tones within a PG-13.
Right, they're trying to desensitize just a little bit.
And you can't. If you're going to have
somebody get their head
like Carnage in a movie,
oh dear,
he needs to be Carnage. If you're going to have vampires running around biting people and slashing people up, they need to go around biting people and slashing people up. There's one scene when Morbius first becomes Morbius
in the boat.
He's fighting these dudes that whoever the fuck they are decided
they were mercenaries.
I guess they were going to come in and try and steal whatever Morbius was working on. Is what my guess was. They never explained.
Well, because the brother hired the mercenaries, I guess, for something, and they never really explained that one. So that was kind of, like I said, the pacing was just a little off, but I digress from it.
But
he sliced one dude right on the neck, and
he cuts one dude.
He's
just
holding.
And he covers it immediately. And
he doesn't this weird.
There may have been a little blood that you see, but
it's like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry, if you get your neck cut, it's going to be pouring.
That's exactly what I came to do. I was like, whoa, hold up. Is he? He's just like, bro, like, hold up, G, where is that? It's supposed to be coming down.
Be rated R if you're going to go with rated R stuff.
God damn. And that's what I was saying. He's dragging people
like,
and shit.
If Marvel was to ever make Deadpool,
oh man,
PG-13, it would ruin Deadpool. He is not a PG-13 character.
Right. And that's why they said go keep it rated R. I love it. Can't wait. That's great.
Yeah, that's a great for what the movie was, it was a fine movie and much better than what people were making out to be. Right. For all of you that went through and review bombed it before the movie even came out.
And that's why they cut the Rotten Tomatoes cut the thing. They brought it back, but they cut it at first. They got
for those of you knowing damn well that you didn't go see the movie, but because Jared Leto was in it and Sony was making this movie, you wanted to be a bunch of assholes.
Right.
This movie was a lot better than what people were making out to be.
Right.
Now, is it perfect? No.
No.
Is it great? No.
No.
Compared to other Sony Universe movies, yeah, it's fucking great.
Right.
But compared to other superhero movies, no.
No.
It's an average superhero movie.
It's there. There you go.
I don't regret seeing it.
No.
Like I do Let There Be Carnage.
Venom in general?
No, because the first Venom at least, like...
I mean, well, I guess
it got to a point where he got the suit and it got entertaining for the rest of the movie. And then I made the mistake of being like, I would love to see him have the suit for a whole movie, and then they did that, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't.
Now you don't want to see this?
I don't need to hear him talking to Venom all movie.
You say either, and I say either. Let's all cut the thing. Oh, breakfast? Ketchup?
That was still funny.
Right in the face. Pause.
But yeah, it was a decent movie. So at the end of the day, I give this movie a 7.
Okay, I give it a 6. Yeah, 6. Wait, what did I give Venom? Damn, I don't know. Fuck.
Well, altogether, that's a 13 divided by 2. It'd be a 6, but it's 6.5, so we always go up.
It should be higher than Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
So, it's going to be a 7. So, we're going to switch over to...
I think because I did go in here with low expectations, I didn't know what I was getting. That's what I said. And I was one of the few, I didn't read the reviews, but... not read reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but I just heard on Twitter, they were saying, like... The story was slow, which we talked about that. They were saying like the CGI was bad, which no shit, we knew that too. Yeah. That's why I posted on Twitter. Y'all didn't see that coming. Like, it's a Sony movie, guys. There's
right.
What was y'all expecting? Infinity War level shit? Like,
well, the good movie is, regardless if it's a 6 or 7, it's going to be in the same ranking. So Morbius actually gets put under B, which I think is fine.
Starting where it's at.
It's right up there with, what was that? Spider-Man 3?
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 and Black Widow.
Okay. That's
about inappropriate. It's above Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which I dropped down to C.
Right. But we weren't going to put it in the S rank. Hell no. That was not going to go there. Sorry. Nope. It's rightfully so.
It's a decent movie. And again, I wish people... And this is something I was telling Ralph. Ralph was actually not wanting to watch this movie, guys.
Woo!
Pounds over here has been dreading this for 2 weeks. Like, we had a chance to watch it the night it came out. And he was like, yo, I'm just going to wait till this weekend. And then we ended up not recording that weekend.
This motherfucker about to expose my whole entire shit.
Like, and his only reason for not wanting to do it that night was he didn't want to watch the movie. He's like, I need to mentally prepare for this.
Hey, bro, I told him, I watched Moon Knight episode 2 and I watched Sonic 2, which, by the way, watch both of them. Watch Moon Knight and Sonic 2. Watch them both.
I was like, bro, just give it a chance. Like, it might not be that bad. And now that he's watched, he's like, it's actually not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's had problems, but it's mid. It's okay. I will not watch it ever again, though, but it's okay.
I will when it comes out on streaming platforms.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's you, but yeah.
Now, I might not ever watch Venom Let There Be Carnage again.
Fuck no. That is... Hey, you want to... Forget Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Put me in that and I'll cry. I will cry. I think you just said that. You said, Ralph, you do something wrong. I'm going to have you watch Let There Be Carnage. Please don't do that. Don't do that to me.
He's like, please no.
I'll cry. I'll think I'll die in 7 days, bro. Like the ring. Like, that's it.
But yeah, so... I think... Is it worth going to theaters to see? No.
No.
I think once it comes out on... streaming platforms, everyone should at least give it one watch.
Like, it'll be on Netflix?
At the very least, watch it to be prepared for whatever the fuck they plan on doing next. Because, again, they've now teased that him and Vulture are going to get together to fight some make-believe Spider-Man that doesn't exist yet. Apparently, I don't know.
Because it may not even be Amazing Spider-Man. It may just be a random Joe Blow out this bitch. It's gonna be a random ass Spider-Man. It's gonna be Tom Cruise. Oh, shit.
Sony's setting something up. I don't fucking know what it is.
Sony said we're making money off the Into the Spider-Verse. We don't give a shit. we got that money to worry about.
All right. Speaking of which, that comes out soon.
Yes. Part 1. It's like a part 1 or part 2. Like, okay, it's a part 1 series. I can dig it. I can get behind it.
But yeah, so be ready for that.
Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter's coming as well. Whatever they're
doing with that's gonna be fucking... With the guy who played Quicksilver, so that's cool. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, that's gonna be weird.
No shit.
Not because he's in it. It's just gonna be weird because it's fucking Kraven. And Kraven is literally, as you guys will find out later this week if you actually keep up with this, is a character I don't give a fuck about. But yeah, so that's where we're headed.
Yeah, it's just damn. I mean,
it's a B. It's a B.
It's a B. It's okay.
I'm a B. I'm a B. I'm a B.
And that's what I said. I went there with low expectations, and I came back okay. I came back not satisfied, not whatever. I'm like mellow. It's mellow. It's a mellow.
It's like having a drunk one night stand.
Right. That's
like
it's like you had sex with a vampire. Yes, 100%. I'm sorry. I was gonna sleep the symbiote, but that didn't go well. He was trying to talk to me.
But yeah. Give it a chance.
Yeah.
Watch it. There's going to be some... I've actually seen some people that have gone on to say that they actually loved this movie.
Yeah.
I've seen other people say that they went and seen it and absolutely hated it. And I say this to every movie. Don't trust what other people say. Go watch a movie for yourself, right. Whether it's in theater or if you're one of those people that want to wait for it to come out on streaming, fine, do that too.
Right.
Watch a movie, judge it for yourself, whether you like it or not. And that goes for any movie ever fucking
right. Like some
made.
people believe it or not, some people didn't like Infinity War, which I don't know why, but hey, it is.
I actually know a few people that thought
who don't like Infinity
War was terrible.
Yeah, they said it was terrible. Right. I was like, damn.
To each their own. That's
to each their own. They said straight it was terrible.
There's some people that don't like Captain Marvel.
So he's gonna. So this motherfucker will keep exposing me. I did 1 week. I did 1 week, and he's like, "Hey, yo, just some people just don't like Captain Marvel." No, it's just Brie Larson. She goes.
Actually, a lot of people don't like Captain Marvel.
Samuel Jackson is the only reason why that movie was good.
He wasn't the only one. Phil Coulson was in it.
And the cat.
The flicking.
The cat that
whatever it's supposed to be called.
He said, "Mother Fletcher." That favorite motherfucker.
I liked it. I mean, it was whatever. It was my son's favorite Marvel movie for a while.
It's okay. Mine is Fan 4 Stick. Can't wait we pull that bitch out. Don't worry. At the Moon Knight and WandaVision. That'll be
the week. I'm like, yo, Ralph, can we wait?
That's it. He gonna hold it. He's just gonna hold out for like a week or something. I'm like, let me tell you about this motherfucker. He did not want to watch Fan 4 Stick. That 87 minutes of bullshit. So much fun.
But yeah, so it gets a B.
Yep.
Give it a chance whenever you have a chance to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, you know what? Fuck it. Wait till it hits like the 50-cent movies.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they're like $1.50 now. Go to the $1.50 movie theater.
I was gonna say go to like driving. Driving probably have it too.
And yeah, so that's gonna end this one. Again, tomorrow or whenever, sometime this week, we're also gonna be posting. We're gonna be reviewing the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight. And then there's also our comic podcast, so that's coming up as well.
Yep.
We're back. We missed a week. We're here, and we will see you all next time. We love you all. Thank you all for watching.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Yes, sir. Woo.